Be ready. 10 seconds to go. Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, I am grateful for permitting me to speak on this issue. While many people may consider this as a continuing process of demonetization and its effect on the country, and the ruling government may pat itself on the shoulders thinking that they are actually going to get more TRP ratings because of this step that they have taken, it shows a growing intolerance and unfortunately an egoistic attitude towards the common man. For a government that claims that they worry about the ordinary citizens, this bill shows a shocking lack of empathy where our workers are concerned. There does not seem to be a reality check on what the real life issues are for the employees in this country at different wage hierarchy. All this looks very lovely on paper. On black and white, it looks innocuous and unthreatening. But is that the reality? I fail to understand as to what was the overriding compulsion for this government to bring in an ordinance despite the fact that Parliament was in session. First, they arrogantly bypass the Parliament and its democratic processes. Then they bring in an ordinance like this, and now they slip in this bill and demand that it should be passed and accepted. Sir, what is rising alarmingly is the absolute disconnect between the citizen and the reality checks. Sir, as my colleague had rightly pointed out, there seems to be no concept and awareness of the working conditions that are there in this country. Obviously, they are not. You take away the right of the citizen and the employee by saying that you will be paid only by check. Are you aware as to how long the banks take to process a check? How many days delay an employee faces in clearance of a check? How long does he have to do without cash? Sir, the without cash syndrome is carrying on even now. Till date, as a citizen, I have no right to go to the bank and take out the amount of money that I want. The banks are making money on my money, but I have no right to access my own money. I am curtailed, my rights are infringed on, and the government continues to carry on this steamrolling of our rights. If an employee has to be paid by check, please give me these answers. How do you propose to do it in the unorganized sector? Where are your banking facilities? Do you have enough bandwidth for e-commerce and e-money? Are you able to actually access the citizens in the remote areas? In what distance are the existing banks? Do you have adequate branches? Do you have a method by which you will facilitate the citizen to reach a bank? Sir, in rural and cooperative banks, the saddest state of affairs is that the people who get a posting in the remote area spend all their time and energy to get out of that posting and go somewhere else. The reality is that only once a week the bank will operate in rural areas. What happens to the employee then? Where does he go? You give us the alternative, give us the checks and balances, and then bring it. But you cannot make sweeping reforms of what you think as reforms and in one stroke take away all the rights of a citizen. We are living in an era of absolute uncertainty. Even if the Prime Minister of India today says something, citizens are not in a position to accept or believe it because the next day the rule changes. During the initial period of demonetization, sir, in 50 days, 68 rules were changed. Every day we see people on television from the ruling party, including the Prime Minister, who threatened and told us of terrible consequences. The democracy is by the people, for the people, and of the people. These are the fundamental principles of democracy, and this House reflects that democracy. Unfortunately, the government does not seem to understand that. You are bringing this system without laying down the infrastructure in the related areas. Who is going to mitigate the misery of an employee when he will be without any money in his hand for the next so many weeks? Sir, regarding Anganwadi teachers, does this government really believe that the state governments actually pay straight? Money devolved from the central government, which goes for payment of wages, is quite often not devolved on monthly basis, but it is actually clubbed together and delivered once in 6 months. How do you expect citizens to live? Can't you actually visualize that? Sir, through you, I appeal to the minister that what he needs to look at is the option of paying by check partly and giving some part payment in cash. You cannot do what is proposed here. It is an illegal thing. What this government proposes to do. If you take away the right of a citizen and then enforce a law which says that if this is not done, you will be punished, that cannot happen. It makes a mockery of democracy. Stop